he didn't think anything of it, but I like was silent for a while because I was like, I think I'm pregnant. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jenna and welcome. I'm making pregnancy videos and just other fun videos throughout my pregnancy to document this chapter of my life and to look back on it and to meet other women and just have fun with it. So yeah, this video is going to be a little different than my other videos. I've kind of stopped doing my weekly updates because my symptoms have died down a little bit, but I will do bigger chunks of time updates, if that makes sense. But this video is going to be all the signs and symptoms that I was experiencing before I actually took a pregnancy test, so before I missed my period, and just things that were making me think a little bit. So the first one is kind of obvious. I was getting close to my period, and me personally, I start PMSing like anywhere from 2 weeks to 10 days before I'm supposed to get my period. And one thing about me is like my periods are really, sorry if this is TMI, if you're a guy you might not want to watch this, but my periods are like very regular. They come at the same time of the day, like I always wake up with it, and it's the same, like I always know exactly which day and what time it will come. And so I got my PMS at normal time like 2 weeks before. The first thing I'll say that like kind of made me think a little bit is that with the PMS, I had like my chest was sore and I was getting early cramps and stuff, but my emotions were like so crazy. I remember I was just talking to my husband about nothing, like, and I suddenly got this urge that I was just gonna like burst into tears. And so I started tearing up, and he's like, what's wrong? Because he was so confused while I was tearing up. He's like, are you okay? Like, did I say something? And immediately, it wasn't just like tears falling, it was like full on, like, you know when you're like sobbing and you just are like loud sobbing? That's how it was. I was just sitting there crying my eyes out, and I felt so bad because I had no idea why I was crying and he had no idea why I was crying. So yeah, that was the first thing, and I think that was about a week before my missed period. So the sobbing thing happened like 2 to 3 times before I took the pregnancy test. And so that was for sure something that I was like, what is going on? So the next thing is irritability, and this kind of goes along with the PMS thing. Like, I didn't think much of it because I was normally irritable when I'm PMSing, but this was around the same time I was getting the sobbing like fits, I guess. I was so irritable, but like only to sounds. So normally sounds don't bother me, like people chewing is not, I mean it's annoying, but it doesn't like bother me, you know. This, I could pick out the smallest sound, like that no one would even notice, like I would have never noticed. But random tiny sounds would just drive me crazy, where I felt like I was crawling out of my skin and I wanted to scream. It was like, I don't know if you know what sensory overload is, where there's just like so many sounds coming in and it makes you go nuts. That's how it was, but with like little tiny sounds, I would just go crazy. And then another thing I would say is before I get my period, I normally get like pre-period cramps, I guess. Like that's how I know I'm about to get it. And this time it was different because it was just like one side, and it wasn't cramping, it was like hot. Like I got a hot feeling where my ovaries are, and I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like on the inside when it feels like warm and it's just uncomfortable, it was like a hot feeling right on one ovary, and that was weird to me because I've never felt that before, so I was like kind of freaked out. But another thing, that this one was a big one, so this is kind of gross too, but whatever. So my stomach was so uncomfortable like every day because it had so much gas in it. Like, not necessarily like letting it go but like I could feel it all in my stomach. It was like painful. Not what normal gas would be. It was just like stuck in my stomach and I could feel it moving around, and that was not fun. But I think that's pretty common, is like being gassy and bloated. So sorry, that's gross. One other big one was sleeping. So I am the type of person who, when I fall asleep, I'm like asleep. I will not wake up, and I'm just a heavy sleeper, I think. Like, actually I know I'm a heavy sleeper, but I think the week before I took the pregnancy test, I was waking up multiple times per night, like a lot of times per night. And it wasn't just like wake up, go to sleep. It was like wake up, I am wide awake for like an hour, and then I'd fall back asleep, then I'd wake up, be wide awake for 20 minutes, fall back asleep. And that was kind of frustrating because I was like, I like my sleep, so I just wanted to sleep through the night like I normally do. And that one was for sure, like, that one for sure made me think, because that was not normal for me. And then my last one before I actually missed a period was I threw up in my mouth. So, which, like, that happens to a lot of people sometimes, but this is the last one. Like, this was just a couple of days before I missed my period, and I know, like, people throw up in their mouth, but I don't know why this one, like, gave me the idea. But I was sitting in the car and I had just eaten a bagel, and it was my favorite bagel. Like, there's this one certain type of bagel that I liked from Caribou, which I don't like anymore, and I ate it for lunch in the car, and I got a terrible, like, nauseous feeling in my throat after I ate it, and I could, like, breathe the taste. Like, when I was breathing, I would just taste it, and it would taste so gross, and then I, like, threw it up in my mouth. Like, it wasn't throwing up, but it just, like, came up again, and I was like, and I remember I was sitting in the car with my husband when it happened, and I just looked at him and I was like, I just threw up in my mouth. And then he didn't think anything of it, but I, like, was silent for a while because I was like, I think I'm pregnant. I don't know why that was the thing that made me think that I was, but that's what I thought. So then I took a pregnancy test 2 days after I missed a period. I know lots of people wait like a week, but mine are so regular that on the day I missed it, I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I thought for sure that I was, but also I didn't. Like, I didn't believe that I was, but I thought that I was, if that makes sense. So I waited 2 days, which the 2-day wait was, like, intense waiting for me because we weren't trying to get pregnant, and I had never missed a period before. Like, I've been late, but I've never missed it, and I've been so regular the past 2 years that I was just like, oh my gosh, I think I'm pregnant. So I took the test 2 days later and I was pregnant, and that's when all those symptoms that I just mentioned kind of like clicked. I was like, ah, that's why that was different than normal PMSing or whatever. So since people find out around like 6 weeks normally, I feel like that's normally when people actually find out they're pregnant. At least when, like, my sister was having babies, she normally found out around 6 weeks, I think. So since that's when people normally find out, I figured I could say what happened in weeks 4 and 5 too, because that would still be really early, and maybe you are in the week of your missed period and you're just curious like what people experienced. So I was experiencing all of that, what I had just said, and then came my sense of smell. So right when I found out I was pregnant, 2 days later, my sense of smell went like, I felt like a super woman. Like, I felt like I got a superpower where I could smell everything. Like, it was ridiculous, and it wasn't good because every smell I smelled made me so sick. Just everything smelled so bad, and I don't know how to explain it, but I could smell literally everything. That was not fun. But smell, if you notice your sense of smell is through the roof, then you might be pregnant. Also with that, I kind of lost all my appetite. So when that smell came, that's when my appetite just, like, I didn't want to eat anything. Everything sounded disgusting, even though I was hungry all the time. But yeah, it was really gross. I feel like this video was really all over the place, but I hope you were able to take something from it if you're wondering if you're pregnant. That's so exciting. If you do think you're pregnant, you should let me know what you're experiencing. But yeah, I think that's all that I experienced. Thank you for watching, and if you want to follow along, feel free to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. I've been posting a lot about my baby bump and my symptoms and stuff. And I just think it's really fun to have other friends on there who are around the same due date as me. But yeah, thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you back next time.